All right, people, let's get into it. Welcome back. Welcome back. I think we are live. We're good to go. I wanted to just finish up watching the trophy presentation. As you guys can see, the final score of this one 63-69. Your Michigan Wolverines are the national champs of college basketball, and boy howdy do I have some thoughts. No, first off, congratulations to Michigan, big win for them. Oh, they're singing. Oh, they were singing "Hail to the Victor." Okay, no, I think, honestly speaking, from a total complete standpoint of like team and production, like with how well teams are, um, it just like I don't even know how to explain it. Just they were a complete team, and the kind of the difference between them and UConn, I will say, is that I'm not saying UConn got there on a whim and a dream, but there was just a lot of, again, NFL, not NFL, NBA talent versus UConn, where probably these two guys right here are the most, but I think, if I'm going to be honest, towards the very, very, very tail end of the game, I will say the officiating was, um, I don't know. Not saying that it was spotty, not saying that it was good, not saying it was bad. The one thing that I'm a little about is, Michigan had a record. They either set a record tonight or they tied a record or something, but they made 20 straight free throws. And when I look at 16 free throws versus 28 free throws, that's 12 extra free throws. Um, I just, I think at the very, 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 very end of the game, like under 3 minutes when they started to nickel and dime Michigan, like I get it, like eight of those 25 points, yes, came from that. But there was, I don't know. I think, I mean, I was saying it in the Arizona game, against Michigan, that the officiating was pretty. It just was, huh? Because it was physical and it was aggressive. This national championship, very physical, very aggressive. As you could see, guys were hitting the deck and they were getting after it the whole game. Um, I'm just looking at it from the point of view of like what, like there were so many foul. Like I think the split double team McKinney had, I will give him that. But there was another one, uh, when he fouled out. I thought that was a little horse. That was a little horse radish, if I'm being completely honest. I think, um, there are a couple. There are a couple like, oh, okay, because the thing is, UConn cut it down to 5, and then Michigan would stay ahead, and then it kind of turned into, there was no big like plays on Michigan's end with regards to like the three, because they only made two. That is how funny. Because the other thing too, that I will give Michigan credit for is, if Michigan did make their threes, oh, this would have been an absolute blowout. This, because they only made two and they shot 15. If they made nine, like for example, UConn made nine, I think UConn's threes kept them in the game. Bruh, I got no words. I got no words. Caravan pulled up from deep too. His bucket was a huge bucket that, got them back into it. But I think with how the game played out with physicality, you could see towards the very end, Michigan was foul baiting them, and ref was calling it, and they just, from the charity stripe, they were automatic and they were clutch. They just kept making buckets, and this thing, it kept at arm's length. I'm not saying that that is 100% the reason why UConn lost this game. I'm thinking what actually ultimately cost UConn the game, this number right here, 9 for 33. I think with just how the game ended up playing towards the very end, they shot so many threes. They shot way too many threes. and I think it had to do with just physicality and size because you'd see it. Caravan would drive, Reed would try to drive, and then here we got two bodies flying in, whether it's Cadeau, whether it's Johnson, whether it's McKinney. Blocks. Where's the blocks? Look at that, 6 blocks compared to 2. Like, you know, don't get stuck in the trees. Like, literally all game, Michigan was able to bully them at the rim and get blocks, which I think was absolutely huge. Not going to discredit that. The rebounds, I will admit, super impressed with UConn and their ability to out-rebound them 46-39, considering the bigger team was Michigan. There's parts of me that wonder if, I don't know if they made more threes, because I'm thinking, like I talk about the free throws, and it's like, ugh, because it did slow down the momentum of the game, and we can complain about that. But I liked this number right here, the 34-36. The fact that like UConn almost outscored them in the second half to mount the comeback, because again, there were points where I think the largest lead was a 13-point lead. Let me look here. This is wrong. This 11-point lead, it got bigger than that. Let me hit that refresh button. Really? At one point they said it was a 13-point. No, okay. I guess I'm a stinking liar. I thought they had a 13-point lead at one point. Apparently not. Points in the paint. Oh my gosh, it's not even fair. 36-22. Largest lead 11. Yeah, this was the kick out play, the very last play where, again, he drove it all the way, missed, and then we got Gale here cleaning it up, throwing the ball all the way to the backcourt, which, again, smart time management, because, again, and this is how tense, again, I'm talking about fouls, because at the very end of the game, they did need to nickel and dime them at the very, very, very end, but just with the kind of like the intensity of how the game went, where within the final minute, like I was able to go get a drink, go down, go to the bathroom real quick, pause the game and come back, and like fast forward through commercial breaks, because UConn would make a huge three, timeout, let's go talk about it. Michigan would be able to like turn around, they'd extend the lead with their own basket. Okay, one more timeout for her. Like the final 5-ish minutes of this game in real time alone, I think took 20 minutes, 15 minutes. But I'm super impressed with how this game was as a whole, because it was impressive. This game was fun. This game was good. So yeah. Alrighty, people. Alrighty, but yeah, that's my thoughts on that. Let me see the chat. Hello, chat. What's going on, guys? What's going on, chat? How y'all doing? Let me know in the polls who you guys had. The other thing too, with because again, it was the feeling that I had. I was talking a little bit about, and if you've been watching the stream, I alluded to it a little earlier. The thing that I was talking about was, at one point in time, the San Francisco 49ers were 5-0 in the Super Bowl. And then, since then, they have lost. Kind of in turn where the Patriots at one point, I'm not including this last Super Bowl, but there was a time after a couple Giants Super Bowls, the Patriots had a losing record in the Super Bowl. And either it was because they lost to the Bears, they lost to the Packers, lost to the Bears, lost to the Packers, Rams, Eagles, Panthers, there's 3, 2 to the Giants. So 3 wins, 4 losses, okay? See that? I just did that math off the top of my head. That alone is worth a subscribe, so come on, hit that sub button. But, but there was a turn with Brady towards the end of his career of getting the Patriots to a positive record in the Super Bowl, and like kind of in turn, even though the Patriots and the 49ers never played in a Super Bowl, like they switched. And one consistent in all of this is that the Cowboys never made a playoff, like the Super Bowl. So we can look at that too. But yeah, just had to get that little dig in there. But the 49ers were undefeated, and then in their last three Super Bowls, two against the Chiefs in 54 and 58, one against the Ravens in 47. They've lost three straight Super Bowls. And kind of the feeling that I had going into this game was UConn is 6-0 in national championships. And when people talk about like the next time UConn's in the Final Four or the next time UConn's in, the national championship, they will look at this because now the 18 game win streak gone. Hurley's undefeated record past the Sweets gone, all of it gone, which like it happens, but I think something that is kind of cool. Cool is kind of a cool is not the right word, but it kind of is that we have a situation here where could this like I don't think because again even with the 49ers Super Bowls each of them was different, but I think it's one thing to be like, yeah, well, that one was an absolute loss. No, like this game was close the whole way. And if you look at the last handful of, I mean, let's just take a list of March Madness national championship, Yay, little fireworks, Michigan. Here comes the little M. Do, 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 do. That's actually funny. Championship history. Yeah, we'll go off of this one. Hopefully everything's muted. Or does no, this is going to have pop-ups. Let's go to Wiki. Okay, perfect. So we go all the way back. Again, I would just looking at it, 46-33. I'm going to guess that this game was not close. If I'm gonna make a guess and a prediction, I'd say this game was not close. I could be wrong. What else? But then we have let's scroll down. Okay. Baylor against Gonzaga. This game was not close. This game unfortunately was a blowout. You look at this Kansas versus North Carolina game, 72-69. This was a comeback by Kansas. I don't know how much North Carolina was up by, which in fact I think we can go look. Let's go look. Let's go look. Kansas. Actually, yeah, let's go Kansas versus UNC 2022. Maybe this will give us because I don't know. Yeah, because at this point UNC was up 40-25 at the start. Because again, 40-25 at halftime, and then they started to creep back into. Because I believe this is historically speaking the greatest. Like I'm saying greatest as in like measurement of like not this is the greatest comeback. But yeah, I don't think any other teams come back from 15's not much, but in the national championship, yeah. Where it is 46-41 under 15, and then UNC still has the lead, and then Kansas gets the lead. Kansas ties it around 10 minutes left in the second half. So, I would argue and say, so yeah, this one was close. But again, 76-59. This game was over by both of these games. 76-75. That's funny. Off by 1 point. Let's go to let me show you. Let me show you what I'm talking about. UConn versus San Diego State. Let's pop it up here. Let me show you all. And then while we're at it, Stephen A. Smith. My name is Stephen A. Smith. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Stephen A. Smith. Be sure to subscribe to ESPN Plus. All right, UConn versus Purdue, 2024. Let's get into this one. Okay, so 30 to 36. That's not that bad, but again, I love looking at this little graph of like, oh. So we have our 36-30, and then 39-32, 41-42, 43, 45, 47, 49, and they pull away 51, 48, 39. Now it's 14-point lead under 10 minutes. Now it's a 14-point lead under 10 minutes. Now it's a 17-point lead under 9 minutes, and they just pull away in the second half, where the second half is not competitive. And to the point too, when UConn hit 60, when did UConn hit 60 points? Like it's as if, yeah, with 6-ish minutes to go, Purdue would have had to produce at least half the points they did all game with 6 minutes. Like it just, I think with the bigs that UConn had at the time was just too much for Edey, because Edey had 37 points. Okay, like it was everybody else around him that, I mean, bruh, 4 points, 0 points. Oh man, looking back on this is kind of fun. But like it was the give and go, and like we knew it was going to be like that. And then again, 36-24 at half. Are you kidding me? Nobody thought they would win. And like, let's look at the largest lead. Hold on, actually, I want to look at that too. Team stats, and we'll go largest lead. Largest lead 17. Okay, then largest lead 18. So again, these are large leads where it's like, yeah, they're probably not coming back. And if they do, be a hell of a story. Be a hell of a freaking story to tell. But they wouldn't. So, all right. So let me close out of those two. But other than that, like I think, legitly, that's not even a word. I think this is probably one of the best national championships that we've seen in recent memory. And then like we can even scroll up. 2019, it was Virginia's. Villanova, same thing. The explosion off the bench, DiVincenzo, when he made his name. I mean, look at that. 79-62, they pulled away. This game was close actually till the very end. I'm like, these two, we were actually kind of spoiled in back-to-back years with 16 and 17, because both of these games were very good. Now, North Carolina did pull away at the very end against Gonzaga, but Coach Few's guys, they were ready, and this game was entertaining, to say the least. And then, I mean, this, again, with talking about like underdog mentality of, oh, this team is overpowered and whatnot, I was kind of leaning back on this 14-1 where you think about all the guys that was on that Kentucky squad, and UConn didn't care. They still won. I don't remember this one as much, which I wish I did, because I was a huge Michigan fan. I love how there's a little A here where it's like, this one doesn't count. And it's like, yes, it does. Was the game played? Oh, it was? Then it counts. Duke and Butler. Connecticut and Butler too. These back-to-back Brad Stephen Butler games, they were good. I don't remember these. I don't remember these. But again, we look how far back we've already gone to talk about like good competitive national championships. We have to go back 4 years, and then before that, another 4 years for 3 straight years of good. This game was good, but it wasn't competitive because Villanova blew them out. But that jump from 22 here with Kansas all the way to 17, dude, that's five freaking years, dude. So I mean, I think kind of like Super Bowls. The I think it ebbs and flows because not every national championship's good. I mean, look at the TCU Georgia one. Nobody did that. That game was not good. I mean, it was if you're a Georgia fan because it's like hell yeah, we're just beating them up. But yeah. All right. Okay, let's get back to it. Let's get back to it though. So yeah, no, like not over here trying to sound like I'm dogging dogging on Michigan because again, I think they played very well tonight. And again, they're national champs. Doe with his 19, quiet 19. I think because that's the other thing too. When it showed him winning the most outstanding player, I was a little shocked. But then I remember, well, yeah, he did tonight have a better game than Lindbergh. Which I will say, if Lindeborg had a big game, because there's two things like with regards to UConn. If Lindeborg had a big game and they made their threes, oh man, this could have been a blowout, and maybe they would have scored 90 points. Which I jokingly during the halftime reaction talked about how there is no way this team is reaching. Um, there's no way they're reaching. How many points? 70. Because at the time the score was hovering around. Because I was still talking at the start of the second half, so it was around like 39ish, 40ish, and I was like, "There's no way any of these teams are hitting 70 points. Like first one to 70 wins." Because again, points were not a luxury. They were you could not buy a basket in that first half. But all right, people. We're gonna end the stream though. So all right, people on the shorts end. We are gonna do a hard out. Catch you guys in the next one.